For good or bad, we can see a bit of ourselves in these characters. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 sitcom characters we can all relate to. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we are taking into consideration the most relatable characters from popular UK sitcoms, not necessarily the most well-known ones. In other words, we're looking at the heroes, anti-heroes, go-getters and misfortunates who are undeniably human. Number 10, Antony Royle, The Royle Family. Although Jim Royle is someone many of us feel like we know, he's not exactly someone we want to see reflected in ourselves.
Dad, can you do us a borrow?
Borrow my ass.
Instead, it's typically his son, Antony, which we feel we can best relate to. Bossed around and called all manner of insults by his family, including jabs like lurch and lazy sod, he regularly gets the mick taken out of him, something that the youngest in any family can sympathise with.
Anthony, make a brew.
I've just been to the shop.
Despite all this, he always makes the tea, he always answers the door, and understandably, he's always fed up.
Mummy, tell Anthony to shut his gob when he's eating.
Anthony, shut your gob when you're eating.
Number 9, Rick, The Young Ones. Many amongst us have at some point felt out of our depth in a political conversation, no more so than this guy.
'Cause that's the kind of guy I am, right?
A self-proclaimed people's poet who thinks he is super intellectual when it comes to social issues, Rick is really little more than an attention-seeking diva and Cliff Richard's superfan.
Actually, I was incredibly popular and everyone thought I was great.
He puts on a hardcore socialist front, although it eventually transpires that he comes from a wealthy conservative background. He basically just wants to fit in with his group of friends and puts on a huge facade to do so.
Listen! Somebody has got to clear all this muck up! And I can tell you one thing, matey boy, it's not going to be me.
Number 8, Victor Meldrew, One Foot in the Grave. An utter moaner but with his heart in the right place, Richard Wilson's Victor seems, on the surface, like someone you wouldn't want to cross paths with on a bad day, or any day for that matter.
Thank you.
Well, who wouldn't love a good rant about anything from incompetent repair works to the weather?
Cheeky little bastards!
He is ultimately a good-hearted guy, and throughout the series he puts the world to right, whether it's liberating mistreated OAPs or standing up to snobby members of the upper classes. And then there's his catchphrase.
Oh, I do not believe it!
Number 7, Miranda, Miranda. She's awkward, she's bumbling, she falls over a lot, but most importantly, Miranda is all of us.
Hello.
The lovable main character of this slapstick BBC sitcom is desperate to fit in with society, but with her natural uncomfortable nature, that's just not going to happen.
La 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 la.
When it comes to finding love, Miranda's just as unlucky, often massively embarrassing herself in the most cringeworthy of ways, and as for her work ethic, it's barely existent, but she remains positive and fun-loving. She's far from a perfect specimen, but she's nonetheless all too human.
Good morning, Mum. How are you?
Are you engaged yet?
Well, not since you asked last night, no.
Number 6, Gavin Shipman, Gavin and Stacey.
Well, let's all just get in the car.
What? Wait, whoa! Before we get a KFC?
We're not getting a KFC.
What?
An everyman and the Essex boy, Gav is every bit the guy next door, the lad down the pub, a regular Joe or Nigel. Many people will certainly relate to him and his kind, loyal and fun nature. It's also because of his close friendship with best mate Smithy, played by pre-Hollywood James Corden, that we can identify with him.
Gavlar!
How are you, alright?
Gav still sticks by him despite Smithy's growing neediness after meeting Stacey, and has to find that balance between keeping both his partner and best pal happy.
You gotta come back, mate. You gotta do the right thing.
Number 5, Boy Trotter, Only Fools and Horses.
Because I've got this funny feeling that I am going to be your millionth customer. What do you think?
I have exactly the same feeling.
Next up is one of British comedy's most recognisable and likeable characters. This geezer, a working class hero of sorts, is loyal and street smart with a happy-go-lucky attitude to life, and his confidence and optimism often leads others to believe in him.
No, don't you do that. Otherwise you think I'm trying to con him.
You are trying to con him.
Like many of us, Del Boy just wants to live comfortably, and many of his tricky situations arise as a result of his attempts to get rich quick. Through all of his schemes and ideas, however, he simply just wants to provide for his family.
I shall need a list of witnesses.
No, see, there weren't no witnesses.
Will 10 do? Lovely.
Number 4, Pete and Sue Brockman, Outnumbered. You know everything you need to know about the situation of this brilliantly written and brilliantly true-to-life comedy from the title alone.
He told his teacher I died in Iraq.
Yeah, but in a volcano, she's never going to believe it.
As a couple, Pete and Sue have their ups and downs, but they also clearly love each other and their family. But on an individual level, they are both dog-tired, overworked and unhappy with the career paths they've taken. Busy, frantic and contributing to more than just a few grey hairs, the life of the Brockmans is something we can all relate to, whether we have little ones or not.
You're not itching your head again. It's not nits again, is it? Let's have a look. Oh, God. No, you're fine. Off you go.
Number 3, Simon Cooper, the In-Betweeners.
You're fit.
Sorry?
Forget it.
The most in-between of the in-between gang, this awkward and eager to please character is similar to so many of us. When it's not his embarrassing parents and banterous buddies causing him some sort of plight, it's Simon's underlying love and subsequent misfortune with Carly.
Simon's got a boner! Let's have a look! Boner!
Like his nerdy briefcase-carrying mate Will, Simon is considerably more level-headed than Jay and Neil, but he is much more relatable due to his self-consciousness and his proneness to going on profanity-filled tirades. And somehow that crummy first car of his only adds to his relatability.
Yeah, totally.
Number 2, Tim Canterbury, The Office. We could be discussing David Brent, but he's someone we're more likely to know than be, thankfully.
Gareth, it's only a trifling matter.
We're really spoilt for choice with the staff of Wernham Hogg, but Tim Canterbury is particularly worthy of examination. It's just his laid-back demeanour, expressions of bewilderment and keen eye for finding ways to annoy Gareth that make him more like us than his, let's say, unique boss.
Down about paper.
Yeah, I'll give you paper stories that'll crack you up, so...
That's true, yeah, they are hilarious.
Hilarious, put down hilarious.
Although he dropped out of uni, he shares the struggle for many modern-day graduates, still living with his parents and feeling unfulfilled in his job.
We'll work out my notice, Skate. Right now, I'm going. Goodbye.
Number 1, Mark Corrigan, Peep Show.
Just because I'm dealing a little bit of drugs does not make me a drug dealer.
Well, yes, it does.
One of the greatest and most realistic comedy characters of all time, this 30-something is haunted by his struggles with women and his hopeless roommate, Jez. On the surface, Mark is bitter, two-faced and angry, but he has an unspoken devotion for his best mate.
Why is he so happy? I suppose I'd be happy if I just spent the whole day practicing my signature and measuring my knob with dental floss.
As well as this, he tries his hardest to fit in and look cool when it suits him, more often than not failing miserably, and has a rebellious side that comes out in wonderful bursts. And like it or not, we are all a bit Corrigan.
An explanation, finally.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.